Marital Hate. We are late. We're so late. We're 3 minutes late. Well, 2 minutes because it was 8:02 when we started. We're like terrible at this. Yep. So I'm Stacey. That's Doug, but he's over there right now. And look at that. Which eye is? I did a sloppy job on my mascara. Follow me for more makeup tips. That's where you lick your finger and wipe off your mascara that you got on your eyes. You could also use a playing card or a spoon to keep yourself from making a mess, but I'm not that kind of girl. I'm a hot freaking mess. So anyway, we have a nightly podcast that we do usually live Monday through Fridays, and it's interactive. Whether you're on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, if you comment, we'll interact with you. The haters will interact with you. We're just happy you're here. And also, people will be your friend. And I don't know, but it seems like we live in a world where people need more friends and like they need a tribe. And it feels like a lot of people have gotten that here. You know, I need to check on, speaking of, I need to check on Todd because I haven't talked to him in a couple of days. And I wonder how he's doing. And I meant to check on Ian today, but I was a hot mess myself. What are you doing?
We did not do our due diligence.
You will turn the pool light on, the outside light. We were not prepared for class. I got to tell you, the podcast snuck up on us today. I was not feeling well. I had a sore throat. My lymph nodes were crazy swollen. They're down a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. Been massaging them.
And I helped by getting you some homemade
scoop of oh my god, the homemade mango sorbet. Amazing. Where are you going?
I don't know where.
He's having problems.
Trying to balance.
So I had so yesterday we made so we had some mangoes that we're going to turn. And so we took 4 mangoes, mangoed them up. By the way, cutting a mango not as scary as it looks, but still scary the first couple times you do it. Now I'm a fucking champ.
Bro. You're like a native.
Hear me out. Hey Trace. Oh my god, our friend Tracy's here. What's up, Tracy? And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about what you told me today, but I'm super excited for you. So yay for Tracy. She has some new excitement in her life. So how you cut a mango. I don't have one with me right now, but I will do it sometime for you. Take the mango. The pit goes the long way up and down. You cut the cheeks off either side. So that's parallel to the pit. And then you cut around the skin for the pit part, and you can cut chunks off the middle of that, or you can just eat it. I like to eat it. Part. And then the other sides, you've got this like half mango and it's round. You make a little grid, like a tic-tac-toe board, and you pop it out and boom, mango squares. So anyway, we had these big, like titty size, well, you know, like C-cup titty size mangoes. And 2 of them was enough. And they're like, what, $7.99 for a box at Costco?
Yeah, maybe not that much.
They're cheap. And people in Florida, like, who have mango trees are like, please take a fucking mango from me. I wish we had mango trees. So anyway, you pop them out and, oh, little baby lizard. You pop them out, put them in the blender with like a little zhuzh. Yeah, the lizards are going fucking crazy tonight. We had a new lizard out front. I think it's a gecko, but it seemed fat for a gecko. It was like a chubby gecko.
Maybe it was big stumpy.
No, it was like a chubby gecko, like gecko feet, but chubby. Oh. So anyway, back to the sorbet. Just a little zhuzh of maple syrup. Put it in the blender. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Throw it in the freezer. Oh my god.
So zhuzh, zoop, zoop, zoop.
Yeah.
Freezer.
Tic-tac-toe.
Zoop, zoop.
Throw it in the freezer. Incidentally, I did take medical marijuana just before the show started. I took Trainwreck, which is a strain of cannabis oil that we've spoken about before. It has not kicked in yet. So if we can get some sort of like energy going on the podcast and the conversation continues in a good way, it could get kind of crazy.
Could get crazy up in there.
Could get crazy. I like my hair tonight. Does my hair look super cute tonight with my little like tendril down?
Tendril? Yeah. Oh, I like it.
I look like a...
So is that like what happens if I ring the doorbell?
That's what I should have told you to do today.
Pull my tendrils. Oh, hello.
So Doug was in his office minding his own damn business. And at like 4 o'clock, well, he was working on a project. And at 4 o'clock today, I sent him.
Why do you have to share our deep dark secrets?
This text. I would like your dick inside me. And Doug said, you have my attention. Then I sent him a recipe for a low-carb instant pot lemon chicken, which was a little disappointing.
Yeah,
but I do appreciate you cooking. And
I think what I'm going to do with all these
that
recipes
omelet
from
you
now,
made this morning,
that omelet was good. Boursin cheese, European style omelet. Just saying.
Yeah, French style, thin, unlike an American omelet. Tell them the difference. Oh, and Trace is here, and she says, do we have 7 episodes left for the big reveal? We do have 7 episodes left. However, drum roll, please. Next Friday, there will be no podcast. And I don't want to smile when I say that, but I have a really good reason. My amazing, gorgeous, and talented, and hilarious husband has been entered into a songwriters competition, and he's been invited to perform. He's a finalist, so he's going to do that. And I don't even know which song it is. Is that the one with She's Everything I Need? That one?
What song is I think that it's called Smiles Like the Sun.
Yeah. I'd like to say it's about me, but
well, there's parts in there about you.
Do you talk about having a fat ass and wanting a dick inside?
No, there is a line called that says "stack like a deck in a fixed poker game."
I might be. It's one of my redeeming qualities. My titties.
And there's also a line in there: "Purrs like a stroked and bored, well-oiled machine."
You're saying that
may also be about you. I don't know. It's again.
You don't know? Is there another woman that
no, I don't think I've ever oiled. Yeah, never mind.
I literally walked into his office with a bottle of lube today. I'm like, let's go. And he's like, I don't like the positions here.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I didn't know what to do.
Like I'm not. No, not in this room right now. Like this is not the because there's a futon in there, but it's like it's shallow. It's not good. So we took it to the bedroom.
I keep thinking about
middle-aged people
replacing that futon with a futon that has actual futon.
It would be nice, but we don't really have the room, and I don't know what our plans are.
Yeah,
I do plan on winning the lottery tomorrow, so that'll be fun.
Well, that.
Trace says, "What? How cool!" Yeah, I'm gonna try to do. I'll try to do a video, and maybe I'll even do it live on Marital Hate, so y'all can see it. I think that would be pretty cool. So maybe in lieu of a live podcast, we do a live podcast.
It's funny, when I entered the thing, I looked at the previous winners, and I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago. This 70-something-year-old lady won it, and she's playing it. And it's like this jazzy song. I'm like, oh, that's on a completely different level.
Are you going to be super depressed if you don't win?
No, I just entered it for fun. I think getting in is.
Let me tell you, he's amazing. He's just absolutely amazing. But sometimes you don't it might be amazing music and it just isn't the right crowd for you. They could be going for, oh, this person's older, or they met a certain, I think that's been kind of a trend on those game shows on not the talent ones, the Voice or whatever, that people have a gimmick. And Doug's only gimmick is that he's an old white dude. And I don't know if you know this, but most people don't really like the old white dudes. I do. I love them. Yeah, fuck the patriarchy. So no, really, let's fuck. We could just start the podcast right now and go fuck again. Want to?
Wow, good. But now I'm all wet.
Me too.
You're weird.
Trace is laughing and she says, I love that idea. So we will do it. We listen to our podcast, people. So what we did was, Anne does not like the Battle of the Animals. So she was pretty much the only person here last night. So we did not do the Battle of the Animals last night because I didn't want to upset my little friend. And Tracy loves the idea of going live from the songwriting contest. So we will do that. Where is it being held?
Fort Myers at some performance center thing.
At some performance center thing. Barbara Mann?
No, it's not Barbara Mann's not it's in Cape. It's the something and Bernie Davis or something like that.
Maybe there's people here that are local that might like to attend.
Let me look it up.
Oh, you know what? Lisa and Jeff might want to come.
Oh, that'd be cool.
We could invite a few of our friends that are local. If you want to fly down, we have a guest room. It's available. For now. Right now, it's available.
It is weekend. The Sydney and Bernie Davis Arts Center.
The Sydney and Bernie Davis Arts Center.
Home of the Fort Myers Film Festival.
Home of the Fort Myers Film Festival. And what time is it?
I think it's early. I think it starts at, hang on.
He has to get there at 5. Doors
I have
open
to get out.
at 6.
I have to get there at 5:30.
Groupies. He has one groupie who is kind of a freaking whore and sends him inappropriate texts while he's trying to do a fucking project.
Doors open to the public at 7:30. The performances begin at 7:30.
So 7:30.
So we gotta get there for sound check.
Yeah, Doug's got to get there for sound check. So
I don't know if you need a ticket or not, but if we're going,
I'm sure you need a ticket. Well, does
it
it say anything about tickets?
It says, encourage your family and friends to come there, as there will be a People's Choice Prize.
See,
event tickets are $10 through this weekend and bump up to $15 next week.
$10.
Please let me know if you have any questions. Blah blah blah, and good luck.
So I will be there with bells on. If anybody is in the area and they want to go, please come sit with me so I'm not by myself looking like an idiot. And maybe I might be able to get Lisa and Jeff to come with us. And I don't know if Jen or Lenny would want to come. And maybe, who knows? But I will let all of our local friends know that next Friday.
There's a rooftop sculpture garden.
Oh, I like a rooftop sculpture garden. That's the shit right there. So anyway, that's that. So so what were we talking about? So next Friday, Doug.
Totally forgot about that.
Rocking out with his cock in.
Well, it's not in.
It'll be in your pants.
Yeah.
And then also the song may or may not be about me. Portions of it, perhaps. Portions, not so much. Maybe there's some other freaking woman he's wrote about. Maybe there's going to be groupies there, but it's Florida. I feel fairly safe. I think that I can compete with the groupies down here because, but I do look forward to dying so Doug can have his pick of the litter. You can get yourself a nice old widow.
I'm getting litter.
Would you get yourself a nice old widow?
An old widow?
Like what, one with money?
Mrs. Risendoe.
Yes, a Mrs. Risendoe. Do you get the Mrs. Risendoe reference?
If you do, I applaud you. Because
we still owe somebody, it's either Risa or Tracy, a prize from guessing. It was some number we had them guess. We never did that. So I don't think we owe is like guessing how much our Christmas tree shop bill was.
Oh, that was awesome.
But then it was like, because it was a negative number and then they both guessed negative numbers. It was the closest without getting over. And so one of them won, but you need to make something for them. I don't know what it should be.
So I have never played before an audience in Florida before.
Whoop, whoop.
I have played before an audience. I've sang before an audience in Illinois before.
And you've played,
or as I like to call it,
but you don't
Illinois.
often play out by yourself. Like I've seen you play.
Oh no, I've played out by myself.
You play with David Kelly.
Once. I played at my class reunion. I went with Mike DeGane to an open mic night in Plymouth once. Playing by yourself is terrifying compared to a band.
You've got it. You're gonna practice. He will be practicing all weekend, and there you have. Tracy says, you are my prize, and I do not get this reference, which is odd because you get everything. Mrs. Risendoe was a wealthy old woman on Coach, and she was going to leave money. Her husband, Mr. Risendoe, was going to leave money to the football team for like a new stadium or whatever. And he died, and she was not a fan of the Coach, and he tried to scam her, and then Luther fucked her.
Good. Probably.
And I think his dog fucked her dog. Fucked the dog. And it was
hysterical.
I don't know if you've ever watched the show Coach, but you should watch it. It's hilarious. What do you have a favorite Coach episode? Oh my God, I could talk about this all day. I could literally, this could be the Coach episode.
The Turtle Farm.
The Turtle Farm is hilarious. The Turtle Farm,
there's so many.
They buy, so there's so it's Coach, which is, what's his name?
Craig T. Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson from Poltergeist. Hayden T. Fox. She said, I did watch that show, but I have not thought about it in years. Watch it again. It's like so good. So of course, Dauber is played by, I don't know,
the guy who does the voice for Bill Fagerbakke does the voice for Patrick Starr on SpongeBob.
Shelley Fabre is in it. She plays the girlfriend.
Yeah. And Jerry Van Dyke, Dick Van Dyke.
The episode with what's his name?
Tim Conway was
their gardener.
Yeah.
Hilarious. And then there's an episode where they they moved to Orlando. They moved the football team to Orlando from Minnesota. And Trace says it's probably better as an adult. At like most things. Yeah, and it's better to watch. I think we've watched it like 3 times.
Yeah, I've seen it. Like I watched it when it was on, and then just sort of lost interest in it after a while. But really rewatching, because I'm a huge fan of sitcoms. Watching it and like just the way it's written is kind of dumb, but like Jerry Van Dyke is so
funny. There's like a lizard battle. Sorry, not to be rude, but there's like 5 lizards like having a battle over there. So you see that one lizard up on the left? There were 2 lizards, and one of them just like went after the other one. So they're having like a
could be mating time.
It could be mating time, but that looked like a gang war.
Oh,
I'm not
could
gonna
be a
lie.
gang bang.
So could be. So anyway, so the show, football team, Minnesota State in college. It's a college ball team. And at some point they moved the team to Florida. And I keep telling Doug as we moved down here that I wanted to get an Orlando Breakers t-shirt.
Now, one of the funny things is that I interviewed for a company in Orlando that runs like the area events at the stadium that took place at. And so I was dying to like get the job and go there and like find out if it looked like that, like the
Well,
80s
my
and 90s.
favorite episode was when they had there was a concert. So like it's a football stadium, so they would have concerts there. And so they had a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert, and Luther rented out the box, which is like their office, out to a bunch of kids. And he's like far out. He's like, the kids come in and they're all like, you know, flannel t-shirts, ripped jeans, like tattoos and stuff. Like it was during grunge, and you know they look like they're going to Chili Peppers concert. And he's like, far out, man, and he's letting them in and selling them the tickets, and it was just so funny. And then the one where Tim Conway, hilarious. And then there's the one where Dauber and Luther buy a turtle farm, and they feel bad for the turtles. They think they're gonna die, so they these big, were they sulcatas?
Yeah, they were like big
sulcata tortoises, and they fucking release them in the ocean. They don't go in the ocean. They don't. Sulcata tortoises do not go in the ocean. So I don't know. Like
anyway, it's a good chuckle. It's not as good as My Name Is Earl.
My Name is Earl. Hilarious.
And it's got so much heart.
Okay, but I will say this. My Name is Earl and Coach you could watch with your family. Californication.
Yeah, Californication can't watch.
Maybe you don't want to watch with your grandmother. Yeah. I would have watched it with my grandmother because you know,
well,
you wouldn't know. And if you don't know that story, oh my God. It's a good one. I've done it on like 3 podcasts now.
You've
because
done it several times.
It's a crowd favorite. Tracy says she loves My Name is Earl. Oh my God. Ethan Sloopy, amazing.
He's so
Jason
good.
Lee.
Oh, and
what's her name? The girl, Jamie Presley, love her.
She's very funny.
Everybody's in it. Betty White makes an appearance in it.
Who's the dancer? Starts with a C.
Catalina.
But
I don't know who plays Catalina. Catalina, the chick that played Catalina was later in The League, which is a show I actually like, and it made me learn more things.
It's funny. You don't like football at all, but you like The League. I love football.
John LaJoie is hilarious.
I love football. Did not like that show. I thought it was dumb.
John LaJoie, hilarious. He goes by the name Taco in the show.
Taco Corp.
And he starts himself a company called Taco Court. And at one point he does he has this whole thing about Eskimo brothers. Like if you fuck the same person, you're Eskimo brothers. And he starts this EVDV B&B, and it's the Eskimo brothers database B&B, and they can go there and like fuck people. And he starts doing pussy waxing in like various shapes in a van, and not like a van like my little chiropractor friend has, like a nice Mercedes Sprinter van that's all done up with like a wrap on it, although it's in the shop right now because it's got a brake problem. The poor thing. Say a little prayer for my little friend Christina, because she had a scary fucking day, and they've had a week. Say a little prayer. But anyway, this is in like a shady van where this guy is like waxing the puss, and in various shapes. But at one point his friend is trying to get a raise at work, so he has Taco write him a job offer from Taco Corp so that he can take it to his boss as competition. He gets a better raise. Tracy says Jamie was also When Mom, and I loved her in that too. You know, I haven't really watched that, and I need to watch it because I love her.
I love Anna Faris. I think she's fantastic.
I like Anna Faris, but Jamie Presley in My Name is Earl as Joy. I hate to say it, but she's so fucking me.
Is unbelievably
she's
good.
So me.
In that show. You just reminded me of a celebrity sighting yesterday.
Who is that? Oh yeah,
that was a guy was wearing his Buffalo Bills shirt in the Wegmans in Canandaigua, like people in Canandaigua do.
Canandaigua, New York.
Daigua. Say Canandaigua.
Cannon kick you in the balls. Right from the bottom.
Would you stop it?
No.
So anyways, this guy's wearing a shirt, and somebody's like, hey, go Bills. Right. Like it's no big thing. And here, it's kind of a thing. But there, it happens every 20 seconds. So anyways, he looks up, and the person that said go Bills was Jennifer Garner. So he took a selfie with her, and that was it. And it was funny because I looked at the picture 3 times. I'm like, that's not Jennifer Garner. I looked in, and I think it was. And
So if anybody can
but
confirm
apparently
or
she says go
deny
Bills.
that Jennifer Garner is a Bills fan,
Yeah.
perhaps she would like to come over and break one of our tables. I don't know why Bills fans are just so fixated with breaking furniture, but here we have it. Trace also says, oh my God, the different things that they came up with when My Name is Earl. LOL, I love taco. So Tracy says, awesome. So Jennifer Garner did not appear in My Name is Earl, but there were a lot of other people that did. Norm Macdonald, Alyssa Milano, Burt Reynolds.
Oh, Big Chubby.
Oh, yeah. And then
Little Chubby was just as funny.
Jerry Van Dyke also appeared in My Name is Earl.
Really?
Yeah, he was oh my God, who else was in it? David Arquette was in it. He was in it with the black guy from Good Times.
John Amos.
Yeah. And they were like, he had ears that he had brought back from Vietnam, and they were like in a battle with each other. So many amazing people were on that show, and it got canceled like with like a cliffhanger. And I can understand like the whole prison thing was a little weird. Michael Rappaport. Michael Rappaport was on it.
Crabman.
Like it was
Crabman was great.
Crabman. I don't even know what else he's been in, but he
kind of just like did a few things, but not like crazy. But I think it was his choice.
I gotta tell you guys though, I am like a nut about IMDb. I have to look up everything I watch on IMDb. I will read every detail about it. As a matter of fact, we've been watching, well, mostly me, Nip Tuck, and I've been going through that shit like crazy. Catalina was played by Nadine Velasquez, and she was in The League, and Eddie Steeples played Steeples,
that's right.
And you would know him from The Guest Book, which I've never seen. I have never heard of any of these movies. I did see him in it wasn't Room 566. It was another horror movie that I saw him in. American Nightmare. So he's done a bunch of horror, which I like anybody who does horror movies. A House is Not a Home.
But the thing is,
he's done a lot of horror movies.
And
he was in OJ the musical.
I would totally watch that.
Oh, that's the Would You Rather. I saw him in Would You Rather, which I thought was creepy and amazing at the same time.
Everybody on that show genuinely showed compassion and care for each other, and because I think it has a lot of heart. I think to be truly funny,
it has heart,
or to be truly whatever, you have to have heart. So just even the gay character on the show, they treated him.
Oh God,
good,
what was his name?
And then there was
and that was like in a time where there weren't a ton of gays on television at the time. And he was great. That was by the way, the kid that was it was Kenny was his name, and that's played by Greg Binkley, who was on Raising Hope and Young Sheldon. He plays Eric, but that was only like one episode. NCIS. He's done a bunch of stuff.
Then there was the policeman who used to be on like Yes Dear, and then
so many people. Like
the girl that
literally
played on the girl with the makeup that was on the Drew Carey show.
She was in it, but the one that I like the most is the hooker. Patty,
the daytime hooker. Yeah.
Patty, the daytime hooker.
Yeah.
Dale Dickey, who you may know from Breaking Bad.
Yep.
She was
also a hooker.
She wasn't a hooker. She was a crackhead, and she dropped a safe on someone's head.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
She's actually. Oh, and she was in. Oh God, what else was she in? She's been in a bunch.
Wasn't she a hooker in something else that we remember?
She might be a hooker all the time. Let's see what else she was in.
She's fantastic.
The Mandalorian.
And we're also finding that Mac's mom. She's
in Claws. She was in Claws. If you haven't watched Claws, recommend it. Hank from Breaking Bad is in it. He plays Uncle Daddy. Which is what I call Doug.
No, you don't.
I say Uncle Daddy. She was in Them, which I have not seen and I need to, but you don't like scary movies, and Dave doesn't come down enough.
We saw Them or Us. I don't know which one we saw.
We saw Us. No, but
we saw Them too, I think.
She was in Shameless. I don't remember. Life is a blur for me. When I watch a show, it's like I'm watching it again because my memory is not so good. It's a neurological Lyme related thing. And it's so funny too, because like people say to me all the time, oh, it's because you're getting older. No, like, yes, I'm getting older and that's a fucking problem. But like, no, seriously, like my, it's a short-term memory issue. And short-term, long-term, I don't even know. She was also in, Sons of Anarchy, but I don't remember what she did in Sons of Anarchy. She was in Justified, Bonnie and Clyde, but I thought she was in True Blood. In True Blood, she was a shifter.
Oh,
and she would become a dog, and she did dog fighting.
she did dog hooking.
No, not hooking. She was in Raising Hope. But there was a show.
Raising Hope was by the same people that did My Name Is Earl.
Two Broke
right after
Girls.
My Name Is Earl. So that might be something to watch.
She was in Weeds as Sugar Pop. What did she do in Weeds? What are you looking at?
Oh, I have people working by.
Who was she in Weeds? Sugar Pop.
Sugar Pop.
Oh, they lived when they went to live off the grid.
Yeah.
Let us know if you're catching any of these references. They lived in Weeds, another show you should watch. They lived. They were living in a camper hiding because the FBI and the drug kingpin were out for them, and so they went to this like abandoned ghost town where people were living in their campers, and she was there, and her name was Sugar Pop, and she was in Bone. Like she's been in everything. Breaking Bad. So she was Spooge's woman. They never told you her name, but she did kill him by dropping an ATM on his head. And
he had it coming.
The other chick that was in that was, and again, like these shows. So in my mind, if you've been on one show, you are that same person, but your life has transitioned. Like you've gone in a different direction. Yeah. So like say, okay, so Hank from Breaking Bad, who is the DEA agent, we just watched him on Nip Tuck. Oh my God, I should pull that fucking clip up.
I'm not talking about that.
I'm talking about it. Okay, so this is what happens. It's an episode of Nip Tuck. And this woman comes in and she's like, my dog bit my nipple. And they're like, oh, okay, ma'am. And she's like, I need to have it fixed. It should look perfect.
It was Melissa Gilbert, by the way, from Little House on the Prairie.
Melissa Gilbert. She's like, and she has this cute little accent. She's like, my nipple got hurt by my dog. I tried to break up a dog fight and he got my nipple and it needs to look perfect because my husband doesn't like the dog because he misses in the house. And I love the dog. He's my only companion. My husband's always gone. And then that's not the voice, by the way. I'm doing it terribly. But anyway, she goes and she has the surgery. And all of a sudden, this guy, man in uniform, his name is Mark and he's a sergeant. If you know, you know. And he walks in and he's like, well, I walked in and you left. And she's like, oh, did the dog poop on the floor again? I'm so sorry, honey. You're home early, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, no, you left the peanut butter out. You left the peanut butter out. And the plastic surgeon's like, sir, I need to finish her examination. If you want to talk to your wife about her peanut butter addiction, you're going to have to do it later. And he's like, this will only take 60 seconds. And he's like, so you just keep it there for convenience. I did what any man would do to his wife's lover. And he just dumps the dead dog out.
From a duffel bag.
She was fucking the dog. She was fucking the dog.
And she was
You're
all
off camera.
And she was all upset that the dog was dead.
Trace likes I like Raising Hope, and she said, LOL. That voice was hilarious.
It was good. It was kind of more like Suzanne Sugarbaker than it was. I do
the voices. Doug does the voices, but I think he's afraid that his voices are racist. Which, like, I guess if you do an impression of someone's accent, it's racist. If they're foreign.
Well, I gotta tell you, people that are bilingual speaking English are doing way better than I could ever do in their language. So
we don't speak. I mean, like I'm fluent in profanity and sarcasm, but that's pretty much it. Like I know a little French. That's pretty much it. Trace says no, it was great. Yeah, because mine wasn't like toward an ethnic group, but like it's so funny because like we have a lot of Indian friends, and one of my friends, I have my daughter's names are Victoria and Veronica, and Indians usually can't pronounce V's. It's just not like a part of their language. And so he would say Victoria and Veronica, and he would try so hard to say it. And I thought it was the cutest thing. Like I wasn't making fun of him. Like I love him to death. And I wish I had an accent so bad. And it's so funny. Our new accountant, Megan, amazing. Love her. Gorgeous, talented, brilliant. And she has this sexy ass Cuban accent. And I'm like, oh my God, I love your accent. Of course, I live in Southwest Florida. And like, there's a lot of Cubans. Every time I meet somebody, I'm like, oh my God, you're my new favorite Cuban. There's a bird. Don't tell the bird to be quiet. The bird wants to be on the podcast. I make a racket every day.
Yeah, I tell you to.
Yeah, and
now he's getting worse.
The birds and I do not listen to you. Fuck you, Doug. Okay, I don't even know where we're going with that. We're just basically talking about television.
Oh, and the other person that we've been seeing a lot of lately is here's the thing about different characters. So Mac's mom on Always Sunny in Philadelphia was just on Nip Tuck.
She was a burn victim. She was like a burn victim. But she was a Boston Red Sox fan, and she had so she's from Philly. The woman is actually from Philly, despite including being on Always Sunny in Philadelphia. She was doing a Boston accent, and it was
funny. But
it was a little overdone.
So on one of the new the new season of Always Sunny, they go to see Mac's uncle.
You have to see it
because Mac never his dad was in prison. He killed a guy. All this stuff. He never played a game of catch with his son.
The whole show is the kid wants to play catch with he wants to have a catch with his dad, and he just wants his dad to love him. And he's gay.
So there was,
but in the closet.
So anyways, there was the only thing that Mac had in his family were these letters written from his grandfather to his father. So, well, where are the letters, Mom?
She wiped her ass with them because there was no toilet paper.
You just ruined the punchline.
Oh, sorry.
But anyways, she had given the letters to his uncle. And so they go to the uncle's house. And the uncle is played by the same guy that played the dad.
I didn't even recognize him.
Never know it. She didn't recognize. She's like, no, it's not.
Because the other one had like a tattoo on his face.
He had his hair slicked back. He was all mean. And this guy was very like
mild-mannered and sweet and wanted to have a catch. It was so sweet.
So it turns out that the uncle was gay, but back then it wasn't accepted, and the dad didn't like him, so he wrote Mac's dad the letters, his brother, and wrote the brother's letter, and it was reading those letters was his way of getting closer to his own father. So we didn't. I was a bachelor. Like he was trying to like not like say it. But he's like, what's this guy's deal?
I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, that's.
But it was apropos of the day.
I remember that growing up, like people saying things like that, and I'm like, well, like, and when somebody said somebody was gay, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like,
yeah, it didn't matter.
Never faced me, but I grew up at a different time. Like, and you and I grew up, 10 years apart. Like,
yeah.
And that's why, we're so proud of our friends. Of course, you're here. I don't want to talk about you like you're not here, but our friends Tracy and Becky, as we call them, the OG lesbians, because they've been together a million years. Back when it wasn't so cool to be out. I mean, obviously, there are people that had it harder than Tracy and Becky did, but we're just really grateful for people that paved the way for kids to feel comfortable being gay today. And I don't know. I just, love who you want to fucking love. Fuck who you want to fuck. As long as you're consenting adults or
a dog. Yeah.
Not to make the comparison between same-sex sex and having sex with an animal. I'm just saying.
No, because people do that. They're like, oh, what's, because that was the whole thing with gay marriage. They're like, what's next?
You're going to want to marry your dog?
It's like,
you know what? If you want to marry your fucking dog, go ahead and marry your fucking dog. Isn't that like a marriage penalty in terms of taxes anyway?
You know what? I wouldn't want to pay puppy support because they have 8 at a time.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
It'd be bad.
And you're like, and look at what's happening in California. Like, children now are able to advocate for themselves or reach out to the school instead of really the parents have kind of been cut off at the knees. So who knows how long it is before dogs can divorce their owners and sue them for child support.
Let's get the dogs to vote.
Well, it really depends on how they're going to vote.
Then I'm going to be working for the cat vote because I like cats.
I just hear something brilliant. Tracy said, I just had an I don't give a fuck what people think attitude, and I will do whatever I want as long as I am happy.
Yeah.
Well, still do. And that is why we love you. That right there, that is the attitude everyone should have every day of their fucking lives. I just had an I don't give a fuck what people think attitude. Bring that everywhere you go. I think that's kind of the gift of middle age. Is I look.
Well, she's not middle aged. She's a pup.
No, she's just a baby. But for me, that's the gift of middle age for most people. I was like you. I never gave a fuck what anybody thought I was going to do. What I was going to do. However, I think the reason that men of a certain age, if you had money, which you don't, but if you did, I don't know if you know. I don't know if y'all know. We don't have any money. But if you had money, you could be out with a 22-year-old chippy. They would be all up on your jock.
I have no interest in that.
I understand that. Why is it that you have no difference interest in that?
Well, it's also the gene that goes out and makes a lot of money. I think it's the same thing. If you have that gene, then you're thirsting after.
I mean, maybe, but maybe women. It's that you're you want some men I've talked to about this topic, and y'all can chime in. And Tracy says, "I'm 41. That's middle age, right?" No, it's not, and neither is 47. 50 is middle age. I got 3 more fucking years. You got a long time. You're just a baby, just a little baby. The men that I've talked to have said that in bed, younger women are very timid. And that's why I think so many young men are looking for older women now because they know what they want. Maybe
not anymore with the internet and learning things and
no, because it's a confidence thing. They're so, and it's I have daughters and I know a lot of young women and I think they're so insecure and it's I'm gonna fucking rock out and just be myself. And look who's here. Anne's here. She says, hello, I was listening in my car. I'm home now. Oh, see, that's a good thing we didn't get into our animal battle.
Well, yeah, we could have talked about not car-worthy things.
I don't think anything we say is car worthy.
We're just gonna
Trace says, "Okay, I will take it." And she says hi, Anne. Anne says hi, Tracy, and somebody else will come in and chime in, but there's only one person. Who knows?
I don't know.
And we don't know how many people are watching on YouTube or Twitter. Like 1 million people could be watching. Who knows?
Although I always thought this number aggregated all the.
It does not. This just shows us how many people. I believe it only shows us how many. It doesn't because Tracy and Anna are both watching. So I think it's only showing us how many people are watching on Facebook.
Can you click on that top menu? Can you click over to YouTube and see if that number changes? Can you click that? No, I guess not. I think it's aggregated. I don't know.
It's not aggregated because we know at least 2 people are watching and we only have 1 person. I think Facebook is the only one that aggregates it for us.
So, Tracy says something very interesting.
I was wild as a younger woman.
Wow.
Tell us about that.
No, kidding.
Tell us all the juicy details.
12?
Yeah, it was 14.
It was.
Tracy's Anne says, do your animal battle just because I don't like it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, but we have other stuff to talk about tonight. Animal battle is a good filler for when we don't know what the fuck to talk about. Trace says, now I just hurt and I'm so glad I was wild when I was younger because it was great. I definitely had some adventures when I was younger, but I'm loving my life now.
0 adventures ever.
You have adventures now. You're married to me.
Yeah, life is a big adventure.
Is it?
Oh yeah, especially when I break out the peanut butter and rent a dog.
And rent a dog. How do you even rent a dog?
Oh, it's dog rental.
Are you implying that I have sex with a dog? If I was to have sex with an animal, it would be a dolphin.
You don't want to mess with a dolphin.
I do want to mess with a dolphin.
No, it's gross. That's no good.
Oh my god. People are gonna think I'm crazy, and people never know when I'm kidding and when I'm serious. That's half the fucking problem.
Well, that is a problem.
And then people think I'm talking about them.
Well,
but I may or may not be.
Well, the other day I said something.
Usually, I'm talking about an amalgam of people. Amalgam. An amalgam. An amalgam.
Amalgamation.
People. You're an amalgamation.
Amalgamation is an amalgam, only it's white with black spots.
Was that lighting?
It could have been. Although I don't know.
I can't even bring anything in from my computer because it's dead.
I will say what I want to say. Oh, because the other day you accused me of making something up because I know a lot of random crap.
Shit up.
I know weird stuff. And so I will like come out with some like thing that nobody else would know. And you're like, you just made that up. No, I didn't make that up. And you accuse me of making it up. But I do make stuff up sometimes.
He does. We were in Newport. And he's walking along the what is the walk there? And he starts telling stories about the whale people and how the ancient mariners would cut open whales with chainsaws. And people are sitting there listening to him and believing every fucking word he says.
Right here. It was right here. Yeah.
Incidentally, despite the fact that I had to fix my mascara with my spit. Yeah. My eye makeup looks super cute tonight.
You look you've looked good all week.
Speaking of people that are looking good, Tracy just gave us some juicy details. She said, I had magic bed carpet rides. It was euphoric. Now we just live with vag blockers. Okay, I have a thing to say about that. Is that when you say magic carpet rides, is that like, okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, so please tell me I'm wrong. No, because so they used to call lesbians rug munchers.
Oh, right.
Because back then people would have hair on their. Is that what you mean by a magic carpet ride, or did you just say magic? Like, is it like a double entendre? Please explain it to me?
It's an amalgamation.
As an oblivious straight person who is super curious. I want to know all the things.
You might have just offended her with the rug muncher thing, and she might be off.
I would. By the way,
I might have just.
I would never use a derogatory term to refer to anyone. Actually, I would. I would, because if I'm close to someone, I'm going to give them a fucking hard time. If I love you, I'm going to give you a hard time, and I expect you to do the same for me. It's camaraderie. It's I don't know. Like the people I love the most are the people I give a hardest time to, but I'm joking with them and they know. Actually, we're watching, we have a friend whose last name is Regazio, and we were just watching something and the guy's name is Regazio, but the guy's name is spelled wrong and our friend is dyslexic, and I texted him and I'm like, this guy's even more dyslexic than you, can't even spell his own damn name. And so that was pretty funny, I think. So yeah, we give our friends a hard time and they know that it comes from a place of love. And I think we all come from, like, we live in a world where people are taking themselves way too seriously. And, you have to ask what people's intentions are. Like, people like, and the British have made an art of this, is that there are people that will make you think that they're giving you a compliment, but they're actually insulting you.
Yeah.
And it's like, so somebody will say something completely nice to you, but they're insulting you. And that is something I aspire to be good at, to be honest. I don't normally do passive aggressive. I just do aggressive, but I kind of like to be good at that. Trey says, it is a double play on words. The mattress went flying and back before I knew how to tame the carpet. Go, girl.
She broke the bed.
I broke a bed too. I actually broke a bed. It was a problem. Somebody complained. Tracy said, oh my God, it comes from a place of love. Yeah, everything I do comes from a place of love. I don't really, although every once in a while I go all Stacy on people's asses and give them a piece of my fucking mind because they're being fucking cunts. And not cunts in a nice way. Like I think what I have is a nice cunt. Do you like my cunt? And see, some people don't want you to say that word. You can't say cunt. Why? Why are we going to give that word power? It's a word. I will see you next Tuesday and Thursday and Monday.
Yeah, but not Friday.
Not Friday. Thursday, Wednesday. That would be weird.
Provided there's no migraines, there's no...
Oh my God. Last night I had a migraine. I don't know how I got through the fucking podcast. Today there was like a lot of rain. And I wanted to come out and just like chill out in the pool, maybe take a nap. But I didn't have the energy to put a swimsuit on. And Ryan was supposed to come by, the pool guy, to look at the pool because there was like pool granules in the pool and it's been very bleachy lately.
Oh no, not pool granules.
Well, my skin has been irritated after coming out of the pool. So, whatever, like, and my thing was like, yes, I did like it wasn't like Karen-y, but it was, Karen-y. Like I called the pool company and I was like, hey, there's a shitload of granules in the bottom of the pool. The pool didn't really look clean. And then a couple weeks ago you had to rinse out the filter.
I did.
And so they haven't been doing as good of a job. Our normal guy, AJ, oh my God, love him.
AJ's the best.
But he hasn't been around in like
a few
months.
they kicked him up a notch.
We're getting the B-level team. So anyway, I called and I said, hey, I'd want to know if it was my business. And so like, it may not be a big deal, but I just want to let you know. So he was going to come by today, but I have given enough people a show so far.
Today,
I have at least showed my tits on the podcast. What, 3-4 times now?
At least. That's why people keep tuning in.
Tracy, is that why you watch? And is that why you watch? Did you guys want to see my boobies? I'll just send you pictures. I'll send you a selfie right now. Send me your number.
Goddamn crap. Today was actually kind of magical. This morning it was about 10 o'clock today? Maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock. We had a thunderstorm roll in.
It was beautiful.
And it was like,
I slept through most of it.
It was just like, and then it started pouring. But it was like the rhythm of the rain, like the song says, was it was just unbelievable.
What song says the rhythm of the rain?
It's called Rhythm of the Rain.
That's a song?
Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain. You never heard that song?
I know Blame It on the Rain.
Blame it.
And I know No Rain.
Yeah.
You love No Rain.
I know Rain by Madonna was one of my favorite Madonna songs.
That was a good Madonna song, but I can't even.
That song was huge.
She makes me want to
puke. It was just big sounding.
She's just gone awful.
No, but that's when she needs our love the most.
You know what song I really like from Madonna is Dear Jessie?
I don't know that song.
It's off that same album.
I really like Ray of Light, but then I found out that Ray of Light was a cover song. I mean, the song's a monster, but like it was an old, like kind of hippie folk acoustic song.
Interesting.
And it was definitely different and not that much different. But I would love to do a whole show on songs you didn't know were covers.
That'd be a good episode. Well,
Girls Just Want to Have Fun, originally done by a guy.
What?
Thank you.
That's ridiculous. Dave says, glad I keep missing those episodes. Oh, because you'd be traumatized by my titties? Please.
I just yelled
I'm going to send you a picture of my titties right now. Fuck you.
You're going to look at it. You're going to like
Love you more. Did you say you're going to like it?
Yeah.
Next time you come to visit,
it's going to be a force.
You're going to be minding your own business, and I'm going to pull my shirt up and just right in your face.
Like
I'm going to force motorboating against your will.
No, you can't force motorboating.
I sure can. Dave just said blocked. I love you more, and that proves it.
Enough with the
Although I've been spelling his name wrong for the last 30 years.
Don't be nice to him. He'll come back.
You love Dave. You guys are all Bigfoot. Blah blah blah.
The best part was when he was in the pool and Donna was freaking out. There's a guy. Oh my God!
It's a man in the pool.
Look out! There's a guy.
Trace says, "LOL." Becky said before my breast reduction, when I rode her, that would have
been the best way to die.
But died smothered. Wait a second. I could
I could easily smother
these things. Can we have a whole episode where you explain lesbian things to the whole world? Because we're curious.
No, I'm not that curious.
I'm curious.
I'm more curious.
Because I've only done a little bit of lesbian things. There's definitely lightning going on. We may have to wrap up early.
It's not a big deal.
Dave says, what the fuck?
Sorry, Dave.
And Dave says, Doug, what? You think he's going to save you? He can't help you. He can't help you. I'll string you up by your ankles. Saw you right there. If you haven't seen the movie The Terrifier, there's an amazing scene. Woman is hung by her. It was Dave's idea to watch this, by the way.
Start at your
by her ankles, saws all the way down, halfway through the skull. Because he gets distracted. You hear what I said? His pee hole.
I can start at the pee hole. That's what you're going
to
do.
You have...
Because they started at the girl's vajuju.
Which really depends on how high of a hanger he is. If he's like a...
Doesn't matter. You just go. You start at the pee hole and go down.
So I'm going to...
That's how they do a fish.
I'm going to take his dick and start there.
Yeah.
I think I would just start between the legs and go down.
No, you gotta go.
And then if you're upside down,
yeah, but
because then I have to grab his wiener and pull it up to cut it, as opposed to just cutting down. And I'm going to be busy with the sawing, with the
when you saw a piece of wood, do you make a little pencil mark? Do you
when I saw a piece of wood, how many of you think I saw a piece of wood? I don't even see a piece of wood with my eyes, much less saw a piece of wood.
You go get in a relationship with a guy that'll saw a piece of wood. When the thing's built, shit can the guy.
Have I shit canned you?
No, because I do too much.
You do things.
I am all.
You're not really building many things.
Well, I built a life for you.
You built a life for
look
me.
Look at that, it's so nice.
Yeah, but you don't have a job. And I don't know what else you do, but you did make an amazing omelet this morning. Oh, that's another thing we were going to talk about. Data says, "What if you stuck the saw blade in the twat and the saw out?" Oh, like in and out of the twat.
Like out of the twat.
Yeah. Dave and I came up with an idea today. Well, I think it was my idea, but Dave just expanded on it.
How do you guys have time to come up with ideas?
Well,
doesn't he have a job?
Yeah, but he was done at work. We talked.
We
learned about.
So then the ideas were flowing.
I asked ChatGPT a bunch of really stupid questions to try to demonstrate to Dave all the cool things that ChatGPT could do. I think I failed, but I came up with the idea of, you know how like pornos, like they'll take a movie like Titanic and turn it into a porn.
I like that creativity. I do enjoy
Okay,
that.
well, what I want to do is take movies that are like nice movies and turn them into horror movies. You could do it with anything.
Oh.
Like, what if Forrest Gump was a serial killer?
Muppets Take Manhattan.
That would be a great one.
Like
I don't know, like little even dolls. Dave says then saw it out. Oh, y'all are always correcting yourselves with your grammar or spelling errors.
We can't keep up with you people, really.
We usually know what you're trying. Are you holding me because you love me, or are you trying to not float away?
No, I need somewhere to put my arm.
Okay,
I can't just be like.
I do like that, and just be careful because the ants will climb up on your feet and bite you.
Well, that's
ants bite. Not all ants, but a lot of ants that we have bite.
Shitty, goddamn pool ants.
Trey says, "I love that idea of good movies going horror. I know, right?" And then I went.
Forrest Gump
and Jenny and he got into killing people together, and then he raises the little boy and teaches him how to be a killer.
That's Dexter.
And it started off, well, it's kind of like Dexter, but it started off where he's got like these mother issues, like in Psycho with Norman Bates, because he says Mama always said left is like a book. Oh no, that was Mama always say.
Yeah, that was Forrest Gump.
Mama always said, so he's got like mommy issues, and then he's got the girl who was abused.
Well, if Sally Field was your mother, of course you're gonna have mother issues. She's fantastic.
I don't think you have mother issues because your mother's fantastic. I think you have mother issues because your mother has no boundaries.
Well, you might have mother issues if your mom is hot, like Sally Fields was back in the day.
I don't think she was hot in Forrest Gump.
Well, no, she wasn't. But
I also like the idea.
But she's an icon, so yeah.
I also like the idea of taking horror movies and turning them into nice movies. Like, for example, if you look at the Rob Zombie remake of Halloween, which I highly recommend you see, it's a remake of Halloween, but it's got its own spin, and the way it's painted is you feel bad for him and for the life he had. And I feel like that would be a good way to do take horror movies. And like, for example,
they kind of do that even within the movie. There's a sympathy thing.
Some movies do, but some do it.
Whatever.
But some do it on like one level. But I want to do it like in a deep level where it's like you love this person. I mean, I think invariably you're rooting for Jason or Freddie or Michael at the end of the movie because these people are fucking idiots who walk out in the dark by themselves. They're home alone. They investigate the noise and just if you're just a person of color and 90% of the horror movies for the longest time, you're getting killed. Like I think that I would just not go anywhere with white people because you're gonna get killed. You're first. I think that that's the nice thing about the Tyler Perry movies is it's generally. You see more strength in you're not seeing the black actors killed off right away, but that was a thing for a long time in movies, and I didn't like that.
Who's the other guy? Key and Peele.
Key and Peele.
Yeah.
The Key and Peele. I don't know his name. So we have some comments. Trace loves the idea of good movies going horror. Dave has a brilliant idea. Pay it forward horror. He comes back and kills his killer. Pay it toward.
Oh.
So like with like what's his name? Haley Joel Osment.
I don't know.
You know who was in that? Art Alexakis from Everclear was in it.
He really?
He tried to kill himself and then he lived in the garage.
Nice.
Tracy's. I wonder if he's done anything else. Tracy said, "Yep," and then Jenny had daddy issues. Exactly. I gotta look that up.
Well, I was just thinking, what if Citizen Kane? You remake Citizen. I've always wanted to remake.
I've never seen Citizen Kane
because it's like renowned as being like one of the greatest achievements, right? Because it was the first movie that wasn't like just a film stage play. Like if you watch the Marx Brothers movies, it's a set. They come in stage left, they leave stage right. You know, that kind of thing. So this was like really the first. Citizen Kane was the first one that actually had camera angles and things like that. So. It's from what I remember, it was a good movie and it was notable and all that. But what if you remade it as a horror movie and some guy is turning citizens into Canes? Like he's somehow putting them in this machine, but they're still alive, but they're in a form of.
But what if he
cane.
beats them with canes?
Exactly, something like that.
You could go either way. I would like to state that Art Alexakis, lead singer of Everclear, who we've seen more times than I care to tell you. Not that I care to tell you. I'll tell you. We've seen him a million times. They're fucking awesome. He was a writer on Antitrust, a writer on Blast from the Past, a writer on 40 Days and 40 Nights, a writer on Romeo and Juliet, which they had a song in. He was a writer on Father's Day. He was a writer on, he was an actor in Father's Day. He was in Dead, Seven, Wild, Rogue River, Rid of Me. I've never heard of any of these. Ned's Declassified. Dish Dogs, American Dreams, and they actually didn't even give him the credit for. He was in Committed, which was with Heather Graham, love her, and he was also in fucking Pay It Forward, I thought. And then there's a bunch of stuff where he's done composing and soundtrack. So, unless that was somebody else. Trace says, "Oh, and that's the kind of House of Wax twist." It's got a kind of House of Wax twist. I have not seen House of Wax in a million years. You've probably never seen it. Oh, it's good. And that was a remake. But the remake that exists of it has Paris Hilton in it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it has parasites.
Well, that's a whole other thing. Paris Hilton, parasites. I don't know how far apart they are. Although, has she grown up and become like a normal person?
Who, Paris Hilton? I don't think you can turn into a normal person with that kind of lifestyle. I don't know, but I always root for Lindsay Lohan to be a normal person, but I don't think that's probably.
Oh, actually, we just watched. So Nolan's super into Big Brother, and he wanted to watch Big Brother, and so we're trying, and it's the worst show on television. And unfortunately, once you watch a single episode, you get invested in these fucking characters, and you end up watching it forever. So, Lindsay Lohan, Dina Lohan's mother, was on one of the seasons, and
she was kind of a dud.
I'd say she was a dud, and I from what I remember, she didn't really impress me as a parent in terms of her. Like she was like taking her to clubs and shit like that, and like
from what I remember.
So I don't know, but all right. So what movie would you like to see made into a horror movie, or what horror movie would you like to see made into a family movie?
I would like to see Back to the Future turned into a horror movie where Marty goes back to kill his father, so he can't be born in order to kill more people.
That's amazing.
And he fucks his mom at the Enchantment of the Sea dance in the car. It's totally messed. And he becomes his own father. It's all messed up. It's so messed up. Just saying.
And then you'd have multiple sequels.
Then you'd have multiples of Michael J.
Does
Fox.
he use his skateboard as a weapon?
He
uses the skateboard as a weapon.
No, well, I don't know.
Because there's a whole skateboard team. You could beat someone to death with a skateboard.
Yeah, you could.
I'm not recommending it. But if you're going to, would you like a list of names?
But what if you took Jaws and made the shark nice?
Just kidding.
What if Jaws, you do like
the
Jaws
shark was like
the shark's like a manatee,
just wants to be like rubbed on the belly.
No.
Deb says my dad took me to the bars out in the country. You know, I think that there's a difference between.
There are no rules in the country.
I think that there's a big difference between and I, by the way, grew up like hanging out in a bar. Like that's where my dad would take me. He lived above a bar. There's definitely lightning over there. I think there's a difference between giving your kid like a couple of sips of alcohol or taking them to a bar and taking them out in Hollywood clubbing. And I believe that that's what was happening, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that shit. But I think that obviously Lindsay Lohan's life has not gone great.
No.
And some of the things that are going on in Hollywood are both terrifying and disgusting, and
But I would say this
not a good place for children.
To Deb is that like I don't know whether to say congratulations or I'm sorry, because it's like,
how did that work out for you?
Your dad might have said like I need to keep an eye on you or whatever.
She says I was a minor, so the way you're phrasing it makes me think it wasn't a good thing for you, and I'm sorry for that. For me, I was a minor. I was in bars with my dad all the time. It wasn't a problem. However, there were other things with him that were a problem. And, I think we all fuck up, and the best, thing we can do for ourselves is to learn to forgive our parents for their fuck ups. They're human beings. They're deeply flawed, just like you and I. And, I have some, I'm working on, I have some stuff that's actively continuing in my life that's kind of hard to forgive because people are continuing to do that, but I accept them for who they are. And it's hard for me at times, but for the most part, I accept them for who they are. And I do a lot of fucking praying for them. Trace says, that is such a messed up plot twist, but if he was killed in the past, his future self would cease to exist.
So here's the other thing.
It's a movie where there's a time machine
in the past and into the future.
Yeah. So it's not the most but that's the thing.
But if he impregnates his own mom,
I would like to talk about this.
Himself. That's a good plot twist.
I would like to talk about this.
Yeah.
I believe that when you watch a film, particularly a horror movie or a fantasy or a sci-fi or fantasy film, you suspend disbelief and you go into the mind of the director or the writers or whatever. You go into their world for a brief amount of time. However, there are people that I have been known to watch television with who will pick apart the entire fucking movie, including the kind of chips that people are fucking eating.
I'm telling you, Cool Ranch Doritos were not around in the 70s. They were not.
You're the
missing, gummy bear.
The point,
not around
but the point is that you're ruining the movie for the people who are trying to suspend disbelief.
Well, maybe
and go into the world.
Maybe if those people
they wish that there were chips back then. Maybe Michael J. Fox went back in time so that there could be fucking Cool Ranch Doritos.
You know what? We had plain and we had taco. That's what we had in the 70s.
Your life is terrible.
Deal with that. We had one flavor of Gatorade.
We have a lot of comments.
Yellow.
Tracy says this is the time travel paradigm. Okay, sure, but again, Michael J. Fox is going back and killing people and is fucking his mother. I think it's pretty fucked up. We can have even more fucked up stuff.
Yeah, that was pretty weird that I came up with that.
It was good. I liked it. I think that
it was twisted.
Well, here's the thing though. Okay. Not to get all deep on this, but I respect your point about the time travel paradigm. But I think that when you're suspending disbelief in a film, it can go in whatever direction the writer or the director chooses. However, there's a lot of people that believe, and I'm one of them to some extent, that you choose your parents. So maybe Michael J. Fox chose her to be his mother.
Ooh, interesting. And who would want Crispin Glover as their dad? Because that dude is freaky and messed up and
like
awesome.
Him.
He's awesome.
I love him.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave says, "Love you, Stacey A's Gear." I love you more.
If you guys want to have your own podcast to do your little
just to talk about horror movies,
David,
this would be the entire hot podcast. Stacey picked a terrible movie. That movie was so stupid. I'd be like, Halloween 3, Excision, Killer Joe. Please watch Killer Joe and tell me if you think it's as stupid as all the other movies I pick. Deb says, my dad would not want me clubbing with him. Witness.
Look out.
I hear you. Trace says, fair point, Stacey, but I do this too with my forensic brain. I'm not going to watch a movie with you either. Fuck you. I'm just kidding. I love you. Trace says, fuck, that sounds good. I know, right? Let's do it.
Some sounds good. What sounds good?
Dave and me doing a podcast where we talk about horror movies.
I thought my version of Back to the Future.
You take that shit over. You're just gonna have to move to Florida. Well, see, that's the thing. I think we go down rabbit holes sometimes, and Anne actually did a good job when she was here of going down the rabbit hole with us.
Yeah.
I think
it was good to have some rabbit hole reinforcement. Yeah,
absolutely. And but I feel I would love to be set up with a fancy schmancy podcast studio and a producer.
Oh yeah.
Although to some extent Tracy is our producer when she's here, and to some extent, and by the way, we could actually set people up to produce on the podcast,
we could.
and we have like our recurring. Well, thank you for not peeing in the pool.
No, because I didn't go before.
I got to tell you guys, I'm a middle-aged woman who's had 4 children, including twins. Although I didn't have children, I had C-sections, but whenever I sneeze or I had a wedgie, whenever I sneeze or laugh really hard, a teeny bit of pee comes out. Teeny bit of pee, but don't worry, the pool guy left a gallon of freaking bleach crystals in the pool, so it's definitely killed that shit off. Deb says, how about Night of the Living Dead, the black and white movie? Oh, that's like, I feel like that the zombies are like, they just want to make friendship with the people. They're like, hey, be friends with us. We want love. We want hugs and kisses.
It takes place in the daytime.
Like, they just don't know their own strength. They just don't know their own strength. Actually, it's funny because not that I'm comparing my stepson Wesley to the zombies that eat people's brains, but my stepson Wesley, when we were playing our game, Stay Away from the Dirty Cock, which if you haven't been paying attention, that's a game we play as a family. I'll have to explain it to you later. But Wesley is a big dude and he does not know his own strength. So he would hit the thing and it would go freaking flying. And sometimes he would do great, but he would also hit it and it would go freaking flying because he doesn't know his own strength. So that could be the zombies don't know their own strength. They don't know that you're not supposed to eat people. They're just hungry. They want to be friendly. They want to have snacks. We eat cows. You think the cows aren't like if the cows have like little cow movies that they make up or little cow stories they tell each other about how these humans are coming to try to eat them? I'm telling you, it happens. Trace is laughing. Deb says, but he died at the end. I haven't seen Night of the Living Dead in a really long time, but we could always twist things. I've seen all the remakes I've seen Return of the Living Dead Part 2 so many times. Return of the Living Dead and Return of the Living Dead Part 2. I know every line of those freaking movies. It's terrifying. Jay Joyce is here. Hey Jay, what's up? I don't know if you've been to the podcast before, but it's fucked up. It's really not appropriate for anybody. So what we're talking about, and you can comment no matter where you are, and everybody, welcome to the group. These people are haters, and some of them are even master haters. I'd consider Deb and Tracy and Ann and Dave. Dave has recently become a master hater. You can just be a hater. You come every night, you become friends with all these people, and they will love you. So what we're talking about is taking normal movies and turning them into horror movies, and horror movies and turning them into normal movies. What about like Silence of the Lambs? Like, how could we turn that into like a nice, like normal movie? Like, well, it's like a man who's like a culinary expert. He's a culinary genius and he's found this new source of food. And, you know, he makes a relationship with this nice young female FBI agent. We're talking about turning Silence of the Lambs into a feel-good movie, like for the whole family.
It has actual lambs in it.
Oh, where it has actual lambs. Yeah, that could go that way.
It's about a guy, Hannibal.
Yeah.
Who raises
underprivileged
lambs.
My friend Jay's here. He's never been here before. We used to work together at BTS.
Okay.
And say hello to him. He's never met you. This is my husband. He's old. I like him.
How am I old?
Actually, I think you're Jay's age.
Oh.
Sorry, Jay. I don't think you're. I think
I just
actually,
your friend,
Jay's a hottie patati.
A hottie patati. I've never heard the term patati. Other than on
you know who says that phrase is
Webster.
Hottie patati would Rosie O'Donnell would say. And Rosie O'Donnell, by the way, not a big fan of hers, but on Nip Tuck, hilarious. Jay says hello. I'm old as well. Well, Dave, I'm doing it again. Doug, my husband, as opposed to Dave, my friend of a million years, is 57, and he has old balls, and I like them.
I don't look a day over 50.
I don't know what this means. Oh, Soylent Green, 1973. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it was a movie where they made food out of people.
See, that could be good.
Soylent Green.
I mean, think about what's happening right now in the world. We're having synthetic meat. I would rather eat people than synthetic meat. Does that make me a bad person? I think Tracy and Dave would get behind me on that one. Let's eat people and not lab created meat.
No, because then you're like, then who gets eaten, who doesn't? Is a lottery. Like it's not good.
Survival of the fittest, baby.
She's eating my arm. This is the arm I need to make money with.
Okay, but
my money maker.
When I put parts of you in my mouth, you never get mad.
Not usually, no. So
there you go. Trace says Rosie went off the radar and living the hippie life in Hawaii. Well, that's good. I didn't like that. I didn't like a lot of her politics. And of course she's part of The View, and oh my God, fuck The View. But I I did really love her. I think she was better as like an actress and comedian than a political commentator. But like that, like I don't know anybody who was on The View that didn't end up being toxic. And that stupid show is coming back. And fuck that.
What if
does anybody here like The View? Does anybody think that like, oh, what a wonderful group of people? I give you the platform to defend them.
Warm and welcoming.
Why can't there be a horror movie about The View?
I was just wondering if you remade Carrie and she had a good time at the prom.
Yeah. Well, like when the blood poured down, she was just like, oh, okay, hang on. I know there's a lot of comments, but I have to go off on a little tirade. If you have not seen Hostel 2, I highly recommend it. Both the Hostel movies, the first two are really good. The third one's a little weird. But in Hostel 2, there's a scene. And so if you haven't seen the Hostel movies, the premise of the Hostel, and spoiler alert, so pause for, I don't know, however long. In the Hostel movies, the theory is these people go to Europe, Eastern Europe, and this company basically captures people and sells them to the highest bidder. People can torture and kill them in however way they choose.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Something that the elite of the world's very wealthy people would do. And so in the second one, which again, amazing, this woman who's like into witchcraft pays a lot of money for a virgin. And so the virgin comes to she comes out and there's this whole bathtub scene and there's candles lit all around the tub. And the woman gets down in the tub and the girl comes out and she's tied upside down, like by her feet.
Yeah, this is.
And she takes a sigh and slits the girl. And when the blood falls, she's like, she's all turned on by it and shit. And I don't know what else she does. But my point is that in Carrie, what it could have been is that Carrie gets covered in the blood and she's like, all, and like that would be funny, don't you think?
What if, all right, here's my thing.
And she's like, yeah, we're going to have a good time.
No, here's what happens with Carrie. Carrie goes to high school, takes an AP class, cures AIDS, and then has AIDS blood dumped on her to prove that you can't get AIDS anymore.
Plot twist. My husband is a genius.
Just saying. I could just
Trace
sit here and
Deb said, do not eat people with Lyme. That's a valid point.
No,
oh my God, that could be a whole other movie where people eat people with Lyme and then they get Lyme disease and they feel like shit.
Every zombie movie
I
ever.
don't know if this swimsuit is supposed to go up my ass or not, but it keeps
but when you
ass.
stand up, you just show the whole world everything that you have in your area.
And tune into my OnlyFans channel. Y'all, if I could figure out how to put cameras out here into the pool and underwater, I would have an OnlyFans where I swim around naked all day. I swim around naked all day anyway. Don't give a shit if anybody sees.
Might as well make money off it.
Might as well. Trace says, agreed about Rosie. And she said, no, not enough a little do I like The View. Yeah, you and I have had some chats. I didn't think you would. Trace says Hostel 1 and 2 were amazing. I have not seen 3. I think we might need to have a watch party. Dave says I have never seen Hostel 2. See Hostel 2. It's good. I think 2 is better than 1. Gotta be honest with you. She was cut down the middle. Yeah.
Yeah,
but like not from the vag, but like from the middle, like really like the middle. Like sorry. But there's blood everywhere. Stace, don't listen to your husband, Dave. Stand up. Okay, so my husband is Doug, I think.
I'm the husband.
Just do like The View. Just do like The View. I don't know what that. She does not like The View. Dave said something was gay, which is not a term that we're supposed to use these days. Can say gay.
Like Rosie O'Donnell is gay.
Yes, she is gay, but I don't know. I don't know if we're allowed.
Oh, but yeah, if you're saying like,
I had like an inappropriate. Oh, see, and Dave says, I know. I'm just playing. Dave J. I can't remember anybody's name today. I'm glad you're playing. That's what we love about you. You can't say that either, and you can't say that. I don't know what you can say anymore, but I will say this, that what I would say offline to my closest friends is very different than what I would say on the podcast. Although I do say some stuff I should definitely not say on the podcast.
There's a lot of things you say on the podcast that horrify your husband.
Yeah, okay, but there's a lot of shit on the podcast that you don't say. When we go inside, you're different. And everybody, actually, Anne, our friend Anne, who is brilliant and gorgeous, we love her. Anne likes it better when you're in the pool because you're way more laid back in the pool. Whereas when we're up on the table, he's like Ted Koppel. He's like, welcome to Marital Hate. This is a podcast. My wife is ridiculous.
I have a responsibility to keep these proceedings on the up and up, essentially.
Anne's hilarious. I'm counting down to the View comes back in September. That's where I get all my daily unbiased news.
If you find a
Dave
place
says
to get
queer.
unbiased news, let us in on the news.
This is where you get your unbiased news
right.
on Marital Hate.
I only saw one news item today, and it was actually pretty cool.
What was that?
It was a photo of the Concorde on a barge going under the Brooklyn Bridge. They were taking it like up the river to get repairs done on it. They're bringing it back to a museum, and it was messed up.
No reflection on your story that you're telling. I'm just yawning. I had some things to say. I do have an opinion about something that
I have the photo saved in my phone. Maybe we'll show it later.
Maybe
if it's
we'll
not
show
too
it.
boring.
Well, we should show it on screen, not on your phone. Looking at your phone through the camera is not a good look.
I will send it.
And I would normally produce it in a way that I could post to my computer and then put on the screen. But here we are. So I will say I have a pet peeve about words being repurposed into new meanings. So like you're saying a word all along, it means one thing, and then somebody wants to take it and turn it into a negative. No, we are not doing that. Make your own new word that is a negative word. That's not what we're doing. I don't have negative words. We're not going to give words fucking power. That's fucking stupid. That's why I say fuck so much, because there's like the people that it offends when I say fuck don't watch the podcast.
Well, that's true.
If they hear me say fuck on the podcast and they're offended, what about when we talk about fisting? How do they feel then? We haven't talked about fisting in a while. Okay. Nope, you canceled it.
Oh, I didn't mean to cancel it. There it is.
Okay, here is how do I just open that? Okay, there you go. Bear with me for a minute. I'm going to show you a picture from Doug's computer. This is the Concorde going
under the Brooklyn Bridge.
The British Airways supersonic jet seen yesterday floating atop the East River under the Brooklyn Bridge. It was being moved from the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum to the Brooklyn Navy Yard to undergo some restoration. Will be back on display next year. There had previously been planes in the Hudson.
Yes.
But not in that kind of way.
But not the Concorde. Now, I don't know.
But there were people in it.
Yeah. Anyway, no, it wasn't. It was in the Hudson, but it wasn't under the bridge. But
no, but like it crashed.
I'm fascinated by the Concorde.
Did it crash?
I know people that
didn't
flew
it crash?
on the Concorde.
Didn't it crash?
Yeah, and then they discontinued the whole thing.
Okay, and then well, no, I'm not talking about the Concorde just crashing. I'm talking about didn't a plane crash in the Hudson River?
The Captain Sully or whatever his name was landed it in the Hudson, and everybody was fine.
Anne said that had to be a cool thing to see the Concorde being towed. I was really going for a little ride. And she said that is very cool. So there you go.
I saw something. The photo itself with the angle and all that stuff.
I have a pet peeve.
What? She always agrees with me.
And I have 3 friends that always have your back. Anne, Donna, and Deb all always have your back. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. They're always like, Team Doug, Team Doug, Team Doug. Fuck you, girls. I'm just kidding.
Lunatic.
I love you.
A lunatic.
I am a lunatic. Actually, it's funny though, because like in the world, even like Dave was here and the whole time he's like, dude, your wife is crazy. He's like,
it's a fact.
Oh, Donna's here. Donna, I was thinking,
Donna.
Can I tell you, I'm so behind on my correspondence. I literally wrote myself notes in my phone for people to reach out to this week. Donna, you were on it. Tracy, you were on it. Anne, you were on it. Dave, you were on it. And then a bunch of other people, my friend Darcy. And I had like literally, and between migraines, allergic reactions, nausea, getting stuff done around here. We formed an LLC. We started getting our taxes done. Yes, we're a little late to the program this year. We didn't have the money to have them done. And let's see what else. The kids were just here. They didn't leave till Tuesday, and their flight was delayed. So I drove back to the airport, took them to lunch, then came back again.
So that
it's been crazy. And Donna says it's all good. Relax.
Well, Donna, I wanted to ask Donna a question. If there are any trees left in New Hampshire after?
Oh, her husband has been going crazy with the chainsaw.
John's
we could make a horror movie.
Chainsaw Massacre.
We could make a horror movie out of that shit. I will probably not be relaxing tonight because, as you know, I'm very hyper. And I took some sativa. Trainwreck, highly recommended. I don't know if it's a straight sativa or if it's a hybrid. I'm going to look that up again. We've talked about this strain before. And Deb Jorgie says, go girl, you go girl. And I want all the girls to go. I want all the boys to go. I want everyone to go.
Sometimes I want you to just go.
I love all the female empowerment stuff and girls supporting girls. And I think that's awesome. But I just have to reiterate again, I don't like this war on men. And it was something that that bothered me about the Barbie movie. is that it seemed to further perpetuate that. And I'm not willing. I don't like this divisiveness. I love everybody. And some people fucking suck. Actually, most people suck. So I hate everybody and I love everybody equally. So their gender, who they fuck, who they worship, whatever, what color they are, none of that matters to me. I fucking hate you equally. And I love you equally. It just depends on who you are. Donna says, I want to swim. Come on down. I got a flamingo for you. You can play our fun new game with us. It's called Keep That Dirty Cock Away From Me.
With a paddle.
Deb says we all need an LLC. Girl, let's protect that money from the fucking government.
Wow.
And Donna says, I'd rather chew glass than go see that movie. Well, Donna, that is an option for you. You find some glass and you chew it.
And then just not go to the movie.
And then just not go. But the thing that, I left a ring on you.
Did you really?
No, it's lipstick. It's lipstick.
Oh.
I actually have a funny story.
Don't tell that story.
Why not?
Don't tell it. Please don't tell us.
I'm going to respect my husband's boundaries. Ask me another time. No, I'm just kidding. I'll respect your boundaries. Okay. Donna said, I saw the Meg and it was crazy. See, now that's something we were talking about, is turning movies that are scary or crazy into positive things. And I feel like Doug had said
Meg
about the Jaws.
Could go down, eat those guys in the Titanic submarine, and bring them back up.
And shit them out on the shore, and everybody cheers for the Meg. That would be good. How do you pass a submarine, though? Like, that's going to be tough.
If a Meg is pretty big.
Like, the shark is on the shore, and he's like,
and then
what is wrong with me? And Deb
from
says,
Oceanographic.
why not the Bidens do? I'm not going to touch that one. You know how I feel. Donna says, I saw that The Sound of Freedom makes you think, oh boy, does it. I got to tell you, The Sound of Freedom, I knew a lot about the subject to begin with, but if you haven't, done your own research about the tragedy and the massive problem that is sex trafficking, which is a global issue, but it's certainly a problem in the United States. I believe the United States is the second largest consumer of sex trafficking in the world, but I could be wrong. It talks about it shows the story of sex trafficking, and it's a real eye opener, and it's a very serious issue. I have only watched half of it, and I was gutted for the whole day, and I was familiar with the topic. I knew going in the reality of the situation. I had seen stories. It's a real eye opener. And I think that it's, people are complaining about their fucking first world problems, like, air conditioning not working, or the pool guy putting too many granules in their fucking pool. And I'm saying me when I say that. And then there's like literally children being trafficked and sold multiple times a day for sex. And there's people out there that will have sex with them, and there's people out there that will sell them. That's the world we live in. Fuck everybody. When are we starting our hippie commune? We haven't really been talking about that as much lately. Because our favorite hippie commune friend is building a biodome with only a trap door. He has a door now, in case you haven't been paying attention to that one. Donna says it's the first. I don't know if it's the first, but okay. So you think of any other movies that you would like to turn into a horror movie? I feel like Neverending Story very easily turned into a horror movie. Falcor takes the little boy off. Speaking of The Sound of Freedom and bestiality, you could go real dark with that real fast. Did you ever see the Neverending Story?
No.
He's never seen the Neverending Story. And Deb says, got to take this nuts behind the shed. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. Maybe you could explain it further.
Somebody's going behind the shed.
I'm going to take you behind the shed.
We don't have a shed.
That's true. We don't have a shed.
We
don't have any outbuildings. Doug wants an outbuilding so bad. And I realized today that the reason you want an outbuilding is because you want to get the fuck away from me.
No comment.
You want to get away from me. You want Dave to move to Florida so I have someone to play with. You do. He's like, move to Florida. Give me a break for my fucking wife. He's like, I will pay. You guys can go see every horror movie. I will pay for the movie. Just go. Get her out of the house. She's driving me crazy. All I want to do is watch football. That's how you would feel if you were married to me. U.S. is the highest rate of trafficking. We love the Neverending Story. It's funny how you, one sentence, the 2 words. Deb says, pedo, yes. We should take the pedophiles behind the shed. Nuts. Oh, Tom is here. Tom does not like the phrase nut. And last night we discussed at great length what you would do to clean up when you do nut. And but not nuts in the sense that the ones that you eat, although you could eat it, and perhaps some of us have. But what I'm saying is Tom doesn't like that phrase. And Dave says I'm down. Now, I don't know if you're saying that you're down with taking pedos behind the woodshed, or if you're down with moving to Florida, get your ass down here and going to horror movies with me, or if you're down with
the sickness
with nutting or eating nutting or eating nuts. Do you have a nut allergy? But I'm going to assume that you were talking about going to horror movies with me. Move to Florida. We love you.
So what is the most tame movie? Oh, Sound of Music. Sound of Music.
Oh, I could totally make that a horror movie. First of all, Dave says Florida because he's like in all caps because he's like, I want to be crystal clear here. I was talking about moving to Florida. You would have to deal with this nonsense all the day. And Tracy says she's down with OPP.
Yeah, you know me.
Okay. Doug did not know what that meant until he met me.
I didn't know. I thought it was the band. I thought the band's name was OPP. You down with OPP? Sure, why not? You know me. I didn't know what it was. I didn't pay attention to lyrics. It was not. So yeah.
Okay, you were saying something before.
I said Sound of Music.
Oh, Sound of Music
turned into a horror
Sound
movie.
of Music's so easy. First of all, now that we have the Sound of Freedom in my mind, Julie Andrews is a sex trafficker taking care of these children.
That's dark.
Fucked up.
And somehow she's in bed with the Nazis. She's
Hitler Youth.
Oh.
Your choices are Hitler Youth
or
sex trafficked. And Julie Andrews is going to make you do it. And there's going to be a nun funeral.
And wait, here's a plot twist. The hills are actually alive. They're like big monster hills.
That they eat the children.
Yeah.
No. I got it. Okay, ready?
Bring it.
The children either go to the Hitler Youth program or they're sex trafficked. Julie Andrews, hear me out. Julie Andrews runs the place and she makes the children feel all safe and secure and they trust her. Bam. And she tells them the hills are alive and they will eat you. So you have to stay here where I sex traffic you.
And then at the very end.
And I give the money from the sex trafficking to the Hitler regime. And the people that buy the children are American soldiers. Oh my God, what is wrong with us?
You know what happens at the end? She goes outside and gets eaten by the hill that she made up, but it was actually true the whole time. It eats her. End of story.
Fucked up. Mm-hmm.
And then in some weird shift, all the girls and boys pop out of the ground and are perfectly fine.
Yeah, but it's a horror movie. They're not supposed to be fine. Donna says good night. I think that's because we horrified her. Sorry, Donna. It's about to get worse. Tracy says Flowers in the Attic. Flowers in the Attic is a story about a grandmother protecting her children from going to the Nazis or to be sex trafficked with Julie Andrews. Obviously.
So now we're making, I don't know. This is going off the rails.
I don't know, but there was a Flowers in the Attic movie and Heather Graham was in it. And she's amazing.
Oh, I like her.
I think she was in the sequel, maybe. It's been a while since I've watched it. Hitler's tied up and we dump deer ticks all over him. I like that idea. But I don't know what movie that relates to. Do we know any Hitler movies?
We're talking about the Nazis.
Well, I just put them in The Sound of Music, but the Sound of Music, we're turning it into a horror movie. Right. I don't really feel like pouring ticks all over Hitler is a horror movie. I feel like that's like a feel-good movie.
Yeah, it kind of.
I think everybody can get behind harming Hitler. We need help. It's really what it goes down to. Donna says, no, I am beat. I'm so sorry you're sleepy. Get some rest. Love you. Give hugs to everybody, to you and John and Cliff and Ronnie and everybody else. We love you and we miss you. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I have not seen it.
I don't know what that is.
But again, I hate to be on like the sex trafficking thing, like Boy in Striped Pajamas. It's anytime you talk about, like, this is the thing that's fucked up about it, is the scariest horror movies are the ones that are close to reality, which is why when you're a parent, your ability to tolerate horror movies dramatically declines because you're like, oh my God, this could actually happen. And so, you think about like what's the most horrific thing that could happen. And I think we would all agree is like the rape and or selling of children is the most horrifying thing you could possibly think of. Like the kid, like, I mean, listen, I was molested as a child. I certainly don't think I would be better off dead, but for a child to be raped and sold their entire lives and to live with that trauma, I don't know how you do that. So, yes, that's really fucked up. And so that's why it would be perfect for a horror movie. So I haven't seen Boy in Striped Pajamas. Have you?
No.
Donna gives us lots of kisses and hugs. Apparently we'll have to watch it. Deb points out that covering Hitler and ticks would be justice for Operation Paperclip. Well, it's interesting because so if you're not familiar with Operation Paperclip, I may sound like a conspiracy nut, but you can look it up yourselves. under Operation Paperclip, the United States government pardoned people from the Nuremberg trials and Nuremberg, sorry, and gave them jobs working for the United States government. And they gave a job to Eric Traub, Erictraub, who was a Hitler scientist who worked on creating bioweapons spread by insects. And he worked for the United States government. You can actually look this up. There's an incredible episode of Jesse Ventura Conspiracy Theory on Plum Island that I highly, highly recommend watching, especially if you have Lyme or know or love somebody that has Lyme. I will pull that up. Well, Doug says something brilliant.
I got nothing. I'm falling asleep over here. To be honest with you. I can't even come up with any good non-horror movies.
Well, I want to turn some movie.
I would like to actually do some thought and like write out about a list of 20 of them, and with the plot line, because I really think this is a kind of a cool idea.
It really is. It could be a whole season.
Or making a horror movie nice, like a family movie.
I'm having a hard time finding this episode. That is concerning.
Go to YouTube and search YouTube?
It wasn't on YouTube. It used to be on Vice, but when I look it up, it's not showing up there. He talks about the BP oil spill. He talks about a lot of stuff, but Control C, Control X. Let's try it this way. Yeah, no, it's gone. That's really fucking interesting. I would like to go off on a tirade about that. Google is like, you're Googling things, you're not finding them. They're buried. They bury things and even hide them completely. They're not a reliable source for research. You keep getting further and further away. I was sitting on the stool. Now I have to stand up. I don't like that. Okay. Deb said, you should definitely read about Operation Paperclip. You should definitely read about Eric Traub. You should definitely try to find a copy of that episode because it was fantastic. Or like terrible, but fantastic, in terms of informative, but makes you really concerned about some of the things that our government has done. I got a bunch. Tuskegee Airmen, Operation Paperclip, MK Ultra. What's the one with the media? Oh, there's so many. I love my country, but I fear my government. Dave says good movie, but I don't know what movie he's talking about. The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, maybe? I don't know. What movie would you turn? Like, we could go on with this all night, and it's 9:30. So, y'all, it's Friday night. I said I would keep rambling though. You're getting tired.
Yeah, I'm done.
Is that because I made you give me midday dicking?
It might be.
Thank you for the midday dicking.
Well, you're welcome.
So we're gonna do our gratitude. Join us, and we're gonna pick this up again on Monday, by the way. And maybe we should start doing weekend watch parties. If anybody would be down for weekend watch parties, let me know. We can do that.
I'm grateful for the midday digging. I didn't get that.
Okay, so we always try to wrap up with gratitude because we want to end in a positive place. And the thing we are most grateful for is you guys. We're so glad you're here to support us. We started doing the podcast because people kept telling us, oh, you guys should have a show or whatever. So we started doing the podcast and we started just like.
And guess what? All the people that told us to have a show
don't watch
those
fuckers. They've never even watched it ever.
No, nobody.
At first it was like we were in a dark place and like really struggling because it's been such a rough year. I've been sick for 10 years. Doug just had lost his job again. We just had a Cat 5 hurricane. We thought we were going to have to move, like just one thing after fucking another. We can't get a break. And so it was fun because we wanted to bring people together and make people laugh, but it also gave us something to look forward to every night. So it was something that we were really grateful for. And we really do appreciate you guys. We love when you interact with us, you comment. Even if you comment like after the show has aired, we'll reply to you. Like Risa does it all the time. We love her, by the way. Risa, where are you tonight? We love you. We missed you. Say hi to Steve. Steve is our friend. He's a powdery man, baby. And we are grateful for him and Risa. Tracy says, once I have my weekends back, I'm down for watching. Yay. I will say this, Trace, I'm really glad for your new information. I don't know if it's shareable again, but I'm really grateful for that. And she says, I am thankful for the creativity of all these people that are here, right? I'm also a little concerned for them.
Well, we got a little dark.
A little crazy.
Got a little dark with the.
That's why we love you. One of us. We accept you. One of us.
You're so weird.
I am not weird. Do you guys think I'm weird? I am grateful I'm weird, Anna's telling us to have a good weekend. I want to tell you some more things I'm grateful for. That cute little lizard out front, the little fatty boom baddie, he was so cute. So the people that watch the podcast, the lizard out front, I know this is the second time I've said there's maybe even the third, the best omelet ever. The midday dicking, the beautiful thunderstorm we had, leaving lipstick prints on my husband's. Always makes me feel good.
Oh yeah.
I am grateful that my husband is going to be in a songwriting competition, and if you are in the Florida area and you want to meet up with me, I'm going. I'm grateful for the fun new game that we've created called Get That Dirty Cock Away From Me. And I'm just sad that the kids are not here to play it with us.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for this new fun game we have where we turn nice movies into horror movies and horror movies into nice movies. It sounds fun.
It's a good game. Yeah.
And I'm grateful for all the beautiful Florida nature, like crickets and lizards. And I know I said a lizard earlier this morning, but I'm really grateful for all these crazy animals. And I'm also grateful that we don't really have a lot of snakes in our pool. We had one. That wasn't
in the pool, but it was over there.
It was in the pool area. If a snake came in the pool,
I would just announce, "Get out of the pool, please."
I would lose my fucking
I would do my best for a
mind.
shot.
I would never go in the pool. Like, I would shit myself.
I ain't cleaning that up.
Trey says not yet shareable. She says, but exciting. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Man.
This is such a fun game. I know we can play it every night. I am thankful for house hunting.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh. We house hunting?
Very nice.
Are we going to fix our vagina blocking problem? We're going to have like a little in-law suite where we have locks and soundproof walls. We're going to get back on the magic carpet ride, or is it a magic hardwood ride these years? I don't like, because there's a big trend.
Just don't get that gray flooring.
There's a big trend where women are growing back their body hair.
Yeah.
Like all over, armpits, puss, legs. I actually think it's a little bit sexy when women have armpit hair. That was a barring owl. And some people will even dye it. And I think that's kind of sexy, but I don't like to have hair on my puss, and I don't like to have hair on my legs.
I don't like
walk around with like mohawks.
I don't like that.
My armpit.
No,
what? You don't want me to have, but you didn't think
I don't like my own.
You didn't like my dreadlocks, and you didn't think you were gonna like my dreadlocks, and you love them. You didn't think you were gonna like my tattoos, but you love it. My nose ring you still don't like.
I don't like it. It's dumb. I think it's dumb. I don't know.
I don't even know if you can see it from there. I'm gonna push it out of the way. You see my little nose piercing? That's what it is.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's like wearing a toe ring. No offense to you,
I like toe rings. Actually, supposedly swingers wear toe rings.
Oh.
I want to hear more about this house hunting. You should house hunt in Florida, but I know you don't want to live in Florida again.
Blah, blah, blah.
Tracy said, will the contest be on TV? Not to our knowledge, but I will, if they'll let me videotape, I will try to videotape and go on live. Tracy said, yes, we are fixing this. Yay! And she says, oh my God, Becky is so Doug and I am so you. I love that. I'm really dying to
I was
meet
like Becky better anyways. Tracy.
He didn't. He can't even tell you apart. Can't tell you apart.
No, I knew that, but I knew them, but I never saw them together.
He thinks all lesbians look the same.
Yes, that's exactly right. Oh my goodness. They have the same glasses. They have the same job. Well, I thought they had the same job. I knew they were together.
Sorry.
I never saw them together.
He got so upset when he left his job. When he left his job and he had people that worked in his department send him job links that had nothing to do with what he did.
Yeah.
And he's like, seriously, you worked with me for 7 years and you don't know what the fuck I do for work. Karma's a bitch. And that's been a theme I've been seeing a lot of lately is karma biting people in the ass. I do have something I want to share with everybody before we leave. And Becky's laughing her ass off. That makes me happy. Tell me what you're grateful for as I load this thing up that I want to read.
I'm grateful that I got into the songwriting competition.
Woo-hoo!
Which means somebody looked at my thing and listened to my thing and said, yeah, this is worthy. So that was a nice reinforcement. I am thankful that I had some stuff to do today. I am thankful for Buffalo Bills football kicks off preseason game number 1 tomorrow, which means between now and whenever they're done in February, there's only 2 weeks without Buffalo Bills football.
Can I ask a silly question?
Yes.
Are we going to not do podcasts on Buffalo Bills nights? That might be a good platform for the fall because sometimes you need a break. But how many nights a week do they play football?
Once.
So if they play, we skip one night for football. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Like
maybe we have a watch party.
No. You don't understand. I gotta watch in my own environment.
His fucking mind.
I gotta pay attention.
But it could be your.
No, I don't want people watching me doing it.
The kids used to invite their friends over to watch him flip out about football. That's how funny it is.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I
funny.
do. I do have a few things I wanted to share in parting.
Okay.
My thing's telling me to inhale, but I'm snuffy.
Snuffy.
I've been snuffy all day. I've
I
been
will
snuffy since last
wrap
night.
it up because we've been wrapping it up for 20
Oh my
minutes.
God, Jesus
God
Christ!
damn it! It's Friday night.
Okay,
We'll go to bed. Sleep in
you're
tomorrow.
a grouchy McGroucherson.
Get up, make your omelet.
You don't have to make me an
I look
omelet.
forward to making you a breakfast.
Especially okay. So they're on my Facebook wall. So if you don't, my Facebook is Stacey Hayes Garrett set to public. There's a thing about you're not being kind, you're being people pleasing, and it's repeatedly forgiving people who refuse to change, not expressing your feelings when you're upset, taking on more than you can handle when you're very tired, not standing up for yourself when people are disrespectful to you, being passive with your concerns or issues, being a crutch for others when you're burnt out, always apologizing first during conflict because you can't stand others to be upset with you, being everyone's support system but your own, saying yes to things and regretting it later, going along with things that you're not happy about to avoid creating friction, feeling pressure to be friendly, nice, or cheerful at all times, or you avoid advocating for your own needs by saying that you are fine when you're not. Guilty.
That's totally me.
Guilty, guilty, guilty. So we're working on that. I'm working on it.
I'm trying to be more of a jerk.
I wanted to share the boundaries. Well, you'll set boundaries with me, but nobody else.
Yes, because I feel comfortable.
And you should practice setting boundaries with safe people.
We've
been encouraging the kids to set boundaries with us. I told Nolan to tell me to shut the fuck up. I'm like, just tell me to shut the fuck up. Right. I've said it to both kids actually. And it's funny because I pulled Wesley aside when we went to Super Target, and I was like, Wes, because Wes is quiet. I go, Wes, I can't hear for shit, and you're quiet. I can't fix my hearing. I'm gonna need you to yell. So we're working on it, and he was really great and eloquent. Y'all have seen the podcast with Wes. He's so eloquent and amazing. Energy leaks that I want to share with you. Think about this as you go into the weekend. Unpaid bills. Fortunately, our bills are currently paid, despite the bleeding. Saying yes when you should say no. Unclear boundaries, toxic relationships, unfinished products, clutter and dust. The clutter drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Complaining, judging others and yourself unfairly, offering to solve the problems of others who may not want help themselves. That's one I'm really working very hard on right now. Engaging in gossip and negative talk. We all have our moments with that one. I try not to do it, but I do. But I'm also not going to allow shitty behavior. And I'm generally... I'm not necessarily a gossiper because I'll say it to your fucking face, but the negative talk, I don't like that. Living in the past and worried about the future, bad idea. Holding on when you need to let go, bad idea. And I just have one parting little video for everybody. I'm just going to share it real quick, and it will be our outro if I can properly load it. You guys are not going to believe this. This is like something that is, what's the word I'm looking for?
Blast from the past.
You wouldn't believe it if you hadn't seen it yourself, and it will be how we exit this evening. Facebook, share.
I said that.
I'm here at Walmart. I made a friend, Ronald. Hey, Ronald!
Hi.
And what did you say?
I said that you seem pretty normal.
I like this guy. Well, thank you. Ronald from Walmart, who thinks that I'm normal. Clearly I'm not, but he thinks I am, and I think that's amazing. Tracy says that is so exciting, Doug. She's excited for your thing, and she's proud of you. And
I wish they could all be there. Yeah.
They will be. They will be. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for tuning in. Good night.